I'm going to show you how to make the free piano coaster from Kreative Kiwi. For this I'm going to be using my 4x4 hoop, 2 layers of washaway stabiliser, a selection of threads, one with a matching bobbin for the outside border of the coaster, some masking tape, my squizzers and my fabrics and batting cut to size. There's a link for this design along with lots of other information in the video description below, so please do take the time to have a look. You're going to start off by hooping and pinning your 2 layers of washaway stabiliser. Take your pin, and it doesn't matter what sort of pin you use as long as it's got a head. Lay it on the inner hoop, push it through and then bring it back round through your stabiliser, and you're going to do that on all 4 sides. Load your file into your machine along with the thread colour that you want for your ivory piano keys, that's the white ones. And then you're going to stitch round number 1. That's going to give you your placement outline for your batting. I'm using black so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'll swap it out as soon as it comes to stitching down the front fabric. Place your batting over the outline and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 2 to secure it. Trim away the excess batting from around the edge of the stitch line. Place your fabric for the white keys over your batting and tape it in place. You're now going to stitch round number 3, and that's going to secure your fabric in place and give you your placement outline for your black keys. You're now going to do the satin stitching of the white keys, so make sure that you've got your thread loaded into your machine for that. I'm going with white, and then you're going to stitch round number 4. Place your first black piano key over the outline. On the 4x4 it will be to the left, on the 5x7 it will be top to bottom. So, and you just work through in order. So place that on and tape it down. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 5 to secure it. Now you can change your thread colour now to whichever colour you're going to have for your ebony piano keys. I'm staying with a light colour so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'll swap it out at the last minute when it comes to doing the zigzagging and the satin stitch. You're going to trim along the edge of this stitch line here to remove the excess fabric, just so that it doesn't interfere with your next fabric stitch down. Place your second piece of fabric for the keys over your outline and then tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 6. You're now going to do the same as before and trim up the excess fabric from this side. If you've got really tiny scissors like I have, you could actually put your fabric over all the keys and stitch them down and then trim it all out afterwards. If you've got larger scissors, it's going to be very, very tricky, so you're better off doing it this way. You're now going to place your third fabric down over the top of the outline for the third key and tape it in place. Pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 7. We're now going to trim up all around the edge of our keys. If you're doing the 5x7, then you will carry on until you've completed the rest of them. If you've got a fabric that frays, leave the edge on the top of your piano keys, or if you're doing the 5x7 on the right hand side, until you come to trim up the access for the coaster. That way it'll stop it from fraying. This is going to be zigzagged in a minute, so it doesn't matter. You're now going to stitch round number 8, and that's going to do the zigzagging around the 3 edges of each of your keys. Check to make sure that you've got no threads poking through your zigzagging, and if you haven't, you can then stitch round number 9, and that's going to do the satin stitching around your ebony keys. So make sure that you've got your thread colour for those in your machine. Load whichever colour you want for the musical notes on each of the white keys into your machine, and then you're going to stitch round number 10. If you don't want to stitch these, you can skip this colour completely. We're now going to add the backing fabric, so turn your hoop over. Place your fabric over the outline and then tape it in place. Load your matching bobbin and thread colour for the border of your coaster into your machine. You're now going to stitch round number 11, and that's going to secure your backing. You're now going to trim up your excess fabric from both the front and back of the hoop, so turn your hoop over. Making sure that you've got your matching bobbin and thread for the border loaded into your machine, you're now going to stitch round number 12, and that's going to zigzag the edge of your coaster. Check that you've got no threads poking through your zigzag stitching, and if you have, just trim them off. Then you're going to stitch round number 13, and that's going to do the satin stitching around the edge of your coaster and the top stitching on top of that. You're now going to free your work from the hoop, so turn your hoop over and trim around the edge. Take some warm water and a cotton bud. Dip your cotton bud in, and then we're going to wipe it around the edge to dissolve all the excess stabiliser. And that's our coaster complete. I hope you enjoyed this stitch along. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified of new videos as they're published. Do pop along to Kreative Kiwi's Facebook group. There's lots of ideas, help and information there for everybody. And thank you very much for joining me. You'll find a link to this design along with lots of other information and some discount codes in the video description below.